The images from October 7th happened just 6 months after I had held my baby's lifeless body. Seeing what Palestinian families and parents have to deal with, even not being able to find their child's body intact, but occasionally in pieces and with their organs out, those images really stuck to me. And I just went back to those days when I was at the hospital holding my baby's lifeless body. I lost a baby last year at 6 months of pregnancy. He was a stillborn.
Lina Zruli joined the Handala mission, which set sail from Norway to Gaza, breaking the Israeli-imposed siege once it arrives in Palestine.
Just made it to the boat.
Zruli joined part of the trip in Santander, Spain, visiting 4 ports until her final destination in Malaga, Spain.
The Handala mission, it's called for the Children of Gaza, is a smaller boat. Only 13 people fit in the entire boat, with half of them crew.
The Handala, the little boat that Lina is on, is named for the Palestinian refugee child, that iconic cartoon of Handala, the refugee child who's turned around facing away, facing a wall. The cartoonist, Naji Al-Ali, said Handala won't turn around until he returns to a free Palestine. But meanwhile, Handala is a symbol of resistance. So for about 14 years, the Canadian Boat to Gaza campaign has been part of the Freedom Flotilla coalition. We sail unarmed civilian boats against the blockade of Gaza as an act of nonviolent civil disobedience. So the purpose of the current mission with the Handala that Lina has left to, as currently taking part in, is to challenge, as always, challenge the illegal and inhumane blockade of Gaza, and more broadly to demand full human rights, including the right of freedom of movement for all Palestinians, particularly the Palestinians of Gaza. Obviously, at the current time, that includes joining the broad national and international calls for a ceasefire now and a just, lasting peace.
This boat is not focused on delivering humanitarian aid, but rather explaining, first of all, to people throughout different cities in Europe the importance of the people of Gaza to have access to their own port. We are fighting and trying very hard to basically break the siege.
The sea is one side of the closure and blockade of Gaza. It really is a complete, and has been for a long time, a complete land, sea, and air blockade, which is an illegal act in international law. It's been going on for a long time. It hasn't been going on for the last 8-9 months. It's been going on for about 17 years in the current form, that's to say the blockade of Gaza. When we act against the sea blockade, we're acting against one aspect of that closure.
This trip is risky for passengers on this mission, as a former mission by the Freedom Flotilla ended fatally at the hands of the Israeli military.
On the 30th of May 2010, on the first Freedom Flotilla, when the Mavi Marmara and other boats were violently boarded, Israel attacked it with commandos who began shooting from the air before they landed on deck. There was some unarmed people on board. As I say, there were 10 who were shot. 9 of them died on the spot. Another one died later of his wounds. There were dozens of people injured. All of the people on board, again, were kidnapped at sea, brought in detention to a country not of their destination, and this was true of the other boats, and held in Israel and eventually deported. None of us sail intending to go to Israel. We're sailing intending to go to Palestine, and that's very clear from our nautical course.
Israel initially claimed that actions of their soldiers was in self-defense, but later apologized in 2013 for operational mistakes. A United Nations investigation declared that at least 6 of the deaths were possible summary executions.
It's jobs of Canadians and Canadian civil society to demand better of our government. I mean, Canada continues to arm the Israeli military and also buy Israeli military goods. So we have to call for an end, a two-way arms embargo and an end to the arms trade with Israel, because it's carrying out this terrible genocide of Palestinians in Gaza.
It really does feel to Gazans that the world has left them behind, that the world doesn't care about their lives, their culture, or their children. And that's where this mission piece is in, to say that's not true. There are hundreds and thousands, hopefully millions of people that don't believe what our governments are doing is right at all.